Can I help you?
I'm sorry, I'm from next door.
Penalty. New paragraph. I won't be long. This goal emboldened the Czechs to move Bartok, like the composer, forward and risk the consequences. Stop. 10 minutes later, just before half-time, he was the man left over to collect a short corner from Halles, and it was his chip which Jurasek rose to meet for a simple goal at the far post.
I knew it.
New paragraph. As with tragic opera, things got worse after the interval.
And Jurasek, unmarked at the far post, flapped into the air like a great stork, and rising a yard higher than Bart's outstretched hands, he put Czechoslovakia on the road to victory.
Hell, Phil, don't you understand English? When I say to you, tell me what you mean, all you can reply is, I'd wish to say so-and-so. Never mind what you would wish to say, I replied. Tell me what you mean.
Mais oui, but if you ask me in French, you must say, qu'est-ce que vous voudriez dire? What is it that you would wish to say? Naturellement, it is in order for me to reply, je voudrais dire, etc.
Well, now you're making my point. Now you see?
What do you think the chances are of meeting a free and easy woman in a place
I
like
can't
this?
ask you in French.
Don't mean free
Pourquoi
necessarily.
non? Qu'est-ce que vous voudriez dire? Voilà, now I have asked you.
You don't often see goose on an English menu.
The French have no verb meaning I mean.
Why is that, I wonder?
You don't.
You're always eating goose and Dickens.
Do you think it would be safe?
C'est ce que je vous dis. Qu'est-ce que vous voudriez dire?
I mean, one wouldn't want to be photographed through a two-way mirror.
I don't want to ask you what you would wish to say. I want to ask you
We
what
do
you
have
mean.
the goose
I mean, let's assume
liver.
there
What
is
do
a
they do with the rest of the goose?
Assume you say one and you mean the other.
Je dis quelque chose, mais je voudrais dire.
Right!
Excuse me, Brad.
Yeah.
You eat well, but you're a lousy eater.
Excuse us.
À bientôt.
What you've got is an incorrect statement. It's one correct and it looks like itself.
Did you get a chance to read my paper?
Well, I've only had time to glance at it. I look forward to reading it carefully.
I read it.
Weren't you there for it?
No, he sloped off for the afternoon.
Well, you sly devil, Chetwin. I bet you had a depressing afternoon. Makes heart sick, doesn't it?
Yes, it does rather. We don't know we've been born.
It wasn't at the football match.
Oh, is that where you were?
No, I got distracted.
He's being mysterious. I think it's a woman.
What were you doing?
I have friends here, that's all.
He's being mysterious. I don't think it's a woman.
I was meeting some friends.
Was your paper well received?
No, they didn't get it. I could tell by the questions that there's some sort of communications failure.
Well, the translation phones?
No, they simply didn't get the line of argument. Most of them had never heard of catastrophe theory, so they weren't ready for what is admittedly an audacious application of it.
I must admit, I'm not absolutely clear about it.
Well, it's like a reverse gear. No, it's like a breaking point. You see, the mistake people make is they think that a moral principle is indefinitely extendable, that it holds good for any situation. A straight line cutting across a graph of our actual behavior. Here you see morality down here running parallel to immorality up here. Never the twain shall meet. People think that's what a principle means.
And it isn't?
No. The lines are in the same plane, you see. They are the edges of the same plane. You have to think of it in 3 dimensions, and then if you twist the plane in a certain way into what we call the catastrophe curve, you get a model of the sort of behavior we find in the real world. And there's a point, the catastrophe point, where your progress along one line of behavior jumps you into the opposite line. A principle reverses itself at the point where a rational man would abandon it.
Then it's not a principle.
Well, there aren't any principles in your sense. There are simply a lot of principled people trying to behave as if there were.
No, it's the same thing, surely.
No, you're a worse case than Chetwynd and his primitive Greeks. At least he has the excuse of believing in goodness and beauty. You know they're fictions, but you're so hung up on them, you want to treat them as if they were God-given absolutes.
I don't see how else they could have any practical value.
You end up using a moral principle as your excuse for acting against a moral interest. It's a sort of funk.
You make your points altogether too easily, McKendrick. What need have you of moral courage when your principles reverse themselves so conveniently?
All right, gone too far, as usual. Sorry. Talk about something else, shall we? There's quite an attractive woman hanging around outside, loitering in the vestibule. Do you think it's a trap? My wife said to me, Bill, now don't do anything daft, you know what you're like. If a blonde knocked on your door with the top 3 buttons of her police uniform undone and asked you for a cup of sugar, you'd convince yourself she was a bus conductress growing up in the next room.
No, I'm sorry, you're right up to a point. No moral dilemmas if moral principles worked in straight lines and never crossed each other. One meets test situations which have troubled much cleverer men than us.
A good rule I find is to try them out on men much less clever than us. I often ask my son what he thinks.
Your son?
Yes, he's 8.
She's definitely glancing in this direction. Seriously, do you think one could chat her up?
Excuse me.
That's a woman. Crafty old beggar.
Všechno v pořádku? Všechno dobrý.
Sáša. Děkuji mu, že přišel.
He's saying thank you that you come.
A že ho neradi obtěžuji.
She's saying sorry for the trouble.
No, I'm sorry about everything. Do you learn English at school?
Yes, I'm learning English 2 years. And my father also.
You're very good.
Not good. You are a friend of my father. Thank you.
I'm afraid I've done nothing.
Zeptej se ho, jestli má ty papíry.
You have his writing.
His thesis, yes, it's in here.
Je to dobrý, pořád má.
Řekni, že jsem nevěděla, kdo je dneska odpoledne, když přišel.
My mother is not knowing who you are tomorrow at the apartment.
Today.
Today, pardon. So she is saying, come here, come inside the apartment. For she is not knowing. My father is not telling her. He's telling me only.
I see. But what did he tell you?
He will go see his friend, the English professor. He is taking the writing.
I see. Did he return home last night?
No. He is arrested outside hotel. Then in the night, they come to make search.
Had they been there all night?
At 11 o'clock, they are coming. They search 20 hours.
My God.
In the morning, I go to Bartolomiejska
Policie.
to be seeing him. But I am not seeing him. They say go home. I am waiting. Then I am going home. Then I am seeing you.
And what are they looking for?
Western books. Also, my father is writing things, letters, politics, philosophy, but they find nothing. Some English books they don't like, but really nothing. But the dollars, of course, they pretend to find.
Musíš mu říct, že ty dolary tam nacpala policie.
Not my father's dollars. He's having no monies.
Yes, I know.
They must arrest him for dollars because he does nothing. no bad things. He's signing something, so they are making trouble.
Yes.
Řekni, že